Stephen Billy, Vice President of State Affairs at Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America, joins me now. Stephen, thanks so much. We just spoke with Governor Glenn Youngkin about this week's Virginia March for Life in Richmond, a little more than a year after his inauguration. How do you think the governor has done in protecting the unborn?
I think Governor Youngkin is a clear pro-life governor. He's shown a commitment to protecting babies, and he campaigned on and throughout this year has said that he wants to move forward on a bill to protect babies that can feel pain from late-term abortions. So I think we're going to stand with Governor Youngkin. That is a reasonable law to pass in Virginia, and it's a law that would be supported by over 60% of the people in Virginia right now.
Sure. And Politico reported this week that Democrats are launching a substantial ad campaign focused on the issue of abortion in states where Republicans hold the majority in the legislature. And this piece specifically mentioned Virginia. What do you make of this strategy by Democrats?
I think it just highlights how extreme the Democrats are on this issue. They're attacking a bill that would protect babies from late-term abortions and the pain that comes with those late-term abortions. It's a law in Virginia at 15 weeks that 47 out of 50 European countries have. Most countries in Europe actually have limitations at 12 weeks. And when you're talking about protecting babies that can feel pain, when you're talking about a law that is the wide majority law throughout Europe, that's not an extreme position. And when you look at the actual voters in Virginia, our poll showed that 61% of Virginians actually support that. Even a majority of self-identified pro-choice voters support the 15-week bill that Governor Youngkin is supporting.
Thanks for explaining that so clearly. And speaking of activity in the states, in South Carolina, it appears that the state Supreme Court is blocking their heartbeat law that was enacted back in 2021. Can you tell us about the Attorney General's recent move to ask the court to rehear the case for the Heartbeat Act?
Yeah, it was such a disappointment to see activist judges put the abortion industry and the extreme policy of the abortion industry before the rule of law and before the will of the people in South Carolina. You know, if you look back to 1883, South Carolina has protections for the unborn child in place. So after 140 years, now the Supreme Court in South Carolina is finding a right to abortion in the state constitution. It's just unimaginable. Attorney General Wilson is doing the right thing. Governor McMaster, they are strong pro-life leaders, and we know that they're going to continue to fight for the unborn child in South Carolina. And I think it makes all the sense in the world to force the Supreme Court to look at this issue again, look at the facts on the ground again, and understand that we're talking about protecting children that have beating hearts in South Carolina. The science is clear. There's videos of those babies with their beating hearts. And the Supreme Court can't just ignore that. Activist judges can't just rule what they want the policy to be when the voters in South Carolina have made clear where they stand on an issue.
Thanks for the details on that. And before I let you go, I wanted to get your reaction to the news that the Biden administration is thinking of declaring a public health emergency that would expand abortion on demand until birth. What are your thoughts on that?
The Biden-Harris administration is clearly extreme when it comes to the issue of abortion. They will take every step they can to try to force abortion on every state across the country. Thankfully, we've got incredible governors, incredible attorney generals that are fighting back against this. What the Biden-Harris rule would do would be increase taxpayer-funded abortion. It would make voters and constituents across the country use their tax dollars to pay for abortion. It's an extreme agenda, and we're going to fight back every way we can.
Well, thank you so much for explaining that and for all of the great work that you do at SBA Pro-Life America. Stephen Billy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much, Prudence.